fire on the other side of Timber Ute Mountain, and at night we could really see the glow on the horizon. It looked pretty ugly. And now there's a fire inside the test site. We are looking roughly south from the highway here near Rachel, looking at Chalk Mountain near the back gate of Area 51. And look at
36,000 acres. It started by lightning on Friday morning, and this is a look at the smoke impacts burning on restricted military land within the Nevada Test and Training Range. And crews say there is no immediate threat to people or structures. The U.S. Air Force is coordinating with BLM and working the fire using a confine and contain strategy, focusing on protecting specific values at risk rather than full suppression.
You'll come into this job and you push yourself harder than you could have ever imagined.
And in the latest, a wildfire near the highly secretive Area 51 military base has reignited public speculation and conspiracy theories online. The blaze has been confirmed as a part of the Gothic Fire, which has been raging across northern Nevada since July 4th. However, UFO enthusiasts are not convinced with that.
What if the next alien invasion isn't coming from the stars, but from Washington? What if flashing lights in the sky, the fires burning near Area 51, and the endless UFO hearings were all a carefully built stage, a script, a setup, a strategy to make you afraid so you'll believe the lie, so you'll bow to this system? This isn't fiction. It's already happening. And the Bible warned us first. I'm Heather, and this is From Conspiracy to Confirmed. This is Lake Files. Let's start with what's real. In July 2025, just weeks ago, a fire broke out in Nevada. Have you even heard about the fire that broke out in Nevada? But it didn't just break out anywhere. It burned over 30,000 acres near one of the most secretive places on Earth, Area 51. And they're calling it the Gothic Fire. The official story, lightning. But those watching closely asked other questions. Why did it spread so fast? Why did the military containment units take over so quickly? What really started it? And what might it have been covering? Because this fire didn't just burn brush. It reignited over the oldest and most powerful question in modern history. Are we being told the truth about what's out there? In 2025, the Pentagon's AARO office, the All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office, released new findings on UFOs. They confirmed hundreds of sightings, but they also concluded, conveniently, that there's no evidence of off-world technology. So let me get this straight. We admit the skies are full of unexplained aircraft, but we're just going to say it's nothing? No aliens, no concern. Just trust us. And all the while, Congress is holding hearings. Nick Pope and ex-FBI agents are demanding a UFO czar. And whistleblowers keeping point back to an 80-year cover-up. The truth is, they want your attention on the skies, but not your understanding. In 2003, while America bombed Baghdad, archaeologists claimed they found the tomb of Gilgamesh. We've done a segment on that. A possible Nephilim king. The U.S. military seized the site, artifacts vanished, and the story was buried. Again and again, we find patterns. They reveal just enough to seed the fear. Then they bury the rest. But now something's different. They're not hiding it anymore. They're preparing to use it. Let me introduce a conspiracy that's no longer just a theory. Project Bluebeam. We've spoke about this several times before. First proposed in the 1990s, Bluebeam was a plan to use holograms, sound, and technology to simulate global events, including an alien invasion or the arrival of a false messiah. The goal? Unite the world under one government, one military, one digital religion. Back then it sounded insane, but today we have satellites that can beam sound directly into your skull. We have AI generating fake voices, fake video, fake people, and we just watched entire nations locked down over fear. If you still think it's all impossible, they're counting on that. In March 2025, former President Trump invoked the Alien Enemies Act. He said it was about gains from Venezuela. But ask yourself, why is a 1798 law about aliens being activated now? Because they are soft launching the language, the policies, the panic. They don't need an actual invasion. They just need you to believe there is one. Now let's look at the spiritual side, because this deception isn't just political, it's prophetic. 2 Thessalonians 2:9-11. Even him who's coming is after the working of Satan with all power and signs and lying wonders. God shall send them strong delusion that they should believe a lie. Read that again. Strong delusion, lying wonders. The Bible tells us that signs will appear in the sky, that fear will grip the nations, that people will cry out for a Savior and receive a lie. This is not about aliens. It's about allegiance. Imagine this. A fire erupts near Area 51. Strange lights appear in the sky. Phones buzz. A voice is on a broadcast system across the earth. We come in peace. Suddenly, the world is united in fear. Leaders offer new rules, new IDs, and a new God. That's lowercase God. And anyone who questions it, labeled dangerous, delusional, a threat to peace. That's how tyranny always comes. Not with violence first, but with fear. So here's what you must know. You are being conditioned to panic, to obey, to forget what God already told us. Fear not, let no man deceive you. Test the spirits and stand firm. We are told the heavens would shake, that lies would come dressed in light, and that only the discerning word sees through it. The fake invasion, it's not about aliens. It's about your attention, your trust, your soul. The truth doesn't need permission. It only needs light. Now let's take a look at this article. Okay, so this article from July 22nd at 8:09 a.m. Las Vegas. A wild wildfire burning in the restricted Nevada test and training range north of Las Vegas is now 50% contained, according to the federal officials. The Gothic Fire, which has been burning since July 4th, hasn't grown past 36,069 acres since July 18th. So the BLM, the Bureau of Land Management, said Monday, some parts of the interior of the fire are still burning though, and some smoke is showing. Now you can see the smoke from Las Vegas. Firefighters have been using a confine and contain strategy. A confine and contain strategy, as opposed to full suppression. The BLM, Bureau of Land Management, said the fire will continue to burn within its interior but remain under constant supervision because it's burning in restricted space. No homes or public spaces have been threatened, and there's no threat to public safety. I find that article very, very oddly written. Now let's get to the second article just before this one came out. This article from July 17th, 2025, 30,000 acre Gothic Fire scorches military training range near Nevada's secretive Area 51. A massive wildfire ranging near Area 51, a mysterious and highly classified U.S. Air Force facility in Nevada desert, continues to burn its way across the Nevada test and training range, according to federal officials. Known as Gothic Fire, the blaze is believed to have been ignited by lightning, allegedly, on July 4th, and has scorched more than 36,000 acres in its expansion across the sensitive military training area over the last 2 weeks. After growing over the course of several days with no containment, Bureau of Land Management, BLM, officials reported on Wednesday that the fire has now been reduced to roughly 30,786 acres and is 10% contained. So we went backwards in the with an article. The fire currently poses no danger to public areas or structures, although officials have stated that it continues to burn in the highly restricted area, in which also lies what is arguably one of the most famous yet also high secretive military installations in the country, if not the world. The Gothic Fire burns on. Currently, officials have stated that the Gothic Fire has been burning for nearly 2 weeks within the classified boundaries of Nevada Test and Training Range, located roughly 20 miles southwest of Rochelle, Nevada. I'm not sure if that's Rochelle or Rachel, but I think it's Rochelle. The range is jointly managed by the United States Air Force and the BLM, Southern Nevada District. Exceptionally dry conditions currently affecting the American Southwest were a contributing factor, along with severe lightning. Well, get this. Some say there was no lightning to be proven in that area, but that's still held for speculation. After burning uncontained for several days, crews combating the blaze are now employing a confine and contain strategy that prioritizes the protection of key assets. Key assets, as opposed to attempting to fully suppress the fire. That is a very strange way of saying something. In a statement on the Nevada BLM's Facebook page, the agency said there are no evacuation orders currently in effect, and that containment efforts remain underway to protect structures in the area, none of which are deemed to be threatened at the current time. The Gothic Fire's location has significantly added to its intrigue since The more than 30,000 acres blaze falls within the same secure testing range that includes the enigmatic Area 51, a U.S. Air Force facility long associated with some of America's most, well, let's just say experimental aircraft and UFO folklore. So there's a map. Although officially known as Homey Airport or Groom Lake, we're not being groomed for anything. The famous base has gone by many names over the years, including Watertown and Dreamland, among others. Administered by Edwards Air Force Base, Area 51 sits approximately 83 miles northwest of Las Vegas. The site remains open, secret for decades, having been widely discussed in various media, with fictional representations of the site even appearing in films like the 1996 box office smash hit Independence Day. Can you imagine? It was nearly 2 decades later that the CIA first officially acknowledged the site's existence following a 2013 Freedom of Information Act request. The mysterious testing facility was originally developed in the 1950s as a proving ground for the Lockheed U-2 reconnaissance, I can't read today, people, aircraft, as well as its successor, the SR-71. I just find these articles very, 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 very strange, the way they're worded. So I just kind of wanted to add this article before we closed out here. So there's winds gusting up to 30 miles per hour are also contributing. The weather, maybe? Is someone controlling the weather? We don't know. However, it raises a lot of questions. So, the truth doesn't need permission. It only needs light. I'm Heather, and this is From Conspiracy to Confirmed, and this has been another episode of Lake Files. Like, share, and subscribe, because we are not afraid. We are awake, and we are not backing down.